we've got Commissioner Kundidzora. Maybe Commissioner, I could just raise a hand. Next to him, as you move leftwards, Commissioner Ndlovu. On my immediate right, Commissioner Mshonga. And in the chair seat is the acting chairperson, Commissioner Magale. In addition, you've got members of the Secretariat who are seated amongst yourselves, and some are here in front. I've got
thank you, Mrs. Shigwamba. Felicitations and congratulations for 2018 to all of you. We wish you every success, all the best in 2018 and beyond. Thank you once more for coming. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your presence here. As you may be aware, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission embarked on a national biometric voter registration exercise during the period running from the 14th of September 2017 to the 19th of December 2017. This exercise resulted in a provisional total of 4,879,482 voters being registered countrywide. During the same period, the Registrar General also embarked on a nationwide exercise issuing national identity cards, birth and death certificates, as well as other documents related to civil registration. The voter and civil registration exercises were initially not synchronized, resulting in some people being left out of the voter registration blitz, or our period of intensity. After observing this anomaly and challenge, representations from various stakeholders on the BVR exercise to the Commission were made, and the Commission is of the view that these representations are legitimate and well-founded. As a result, we have decided to embark upon a mop-up exercise that will be conducted in order to afford every Zimbabwean an opportunity to register to vote, so that they can exercise their political and civic rights. The Commission is also cognizant of the fact that there was also another category of people, the so-called aliens, who were adversely affected before the intervention of the courts of law, who should be granted an equal opportunity to register during this mop-up exercise. I use the term mop-up with, I use the term alien with utmost caution and hesitation, because I find the term a bit inflammatory and incendiary. It is a language of choice that has been used in our region whenever there have been attacks related to xenophobic beliefs. The purpose of this press briefing is therefore to announce the formal commencement of the voter registration mop-up exercise running from the 10th of January 2018 to the 8th of February 2018 in the country's 10 provinces, targeting mostly those areas where the Registrar General's teams are currently deployed and where IDs were issued after the BVR Blitz exercise had already been concluded. A total of 2,850 mobile and 87 static registration centers will be established as follows. Bulawayo Province, number of mobile centers 59, number of static centers 5, total number of centers 64, number of Registrar General teams 3, number of kits to be deployed 8. Harare province, number of mobile centers 56, number of static centers 13, total number of centers 69, number of RG teams 10, number of kits to be deployed 23. Manicaland, number of mobile centers 233, number of static centers 8, total number of centers 241, number of RG teams 20, number of kits to be deployed by ourselves 48. Mashonaland Central, number of mobile centers 214, number of static centers 9, total number of centers, both mobile and immobile, 223, number of RG teams 19, number of kits to be deployed by ourselves 47. Mash East, number of mobile centers 432, number of static centers 10, total number of centers 442, number of RG teams 24, number of kits to be deployed 56. Mash West, number of mobile centers 337, number of static centers 8, total number of centers 345, number of RG teams 24 as well, total number of kits 58. I beg your pardon, 58 for Mash East and 56 for Mash West. Mashingo, number of mobile centers 333, number of static centers 8, total number of centers 341, number of RG teams 20, number of kits to be deployed 48. Martinov, number of mobile centers 393, number of static centers 8, total number of centers 401, number of RG teams 14, number of kits to be deployed 36. Match South, number of mobile centers 390, number of static centers 8, total number of centers 398, number of RG teams 21, number of kits to be deployed 50. Midlands, number of mobile centers 402, number of static centers 9, total number of centers 411, number of RG teams 30, number of kits to be deployed 69. Last but not least, HQ, that is where we are now, number of mobile centers 1, number of static centers 1, total number of centers 2, number of RG teams 0, number of kits to be deployed 3. The grand totals for all these are as follows. Number of mobile centers countrywide 2,850, number of static centers countrywide 87, total number of centers both mobile and immobile 2,937, number of RG teams countrywide 185, number of kits to be deployed throughout the length and breadth of this beautiful country 446. What is the methodology that we are going to be using? Out of the 446 kits, the Commission will deploy 87 kits at static centers that include provinces, districts, and sub-district offices. The remaining 359 kits will be roving and itinerant, and the Commission will publish the itinerary sooner rather than later. This mop-up exercise will be publicized as before, and the Commission hopes that those people left out during the period of the Blitz will take advantage of this voter registration extension. Our exhortation and encouragement to the generality of the Zimbabwean population is that they should take advantage of this window of opportunity. And our commitment is that anybody and everybody who desires to be registered will be registered. This is an all participatory and all inclusive process, and nobody should feel marginalized, nobody should feel left out. The requirements for one to register as a voter need not be repeated. These are one's identity document, proof of residence. We know that it has been a sticking point in the past, but our hope and belief is that we have since managed to overcome the problems and challenges that were associated with the proof of residence requirement. And of course, anybody who desires to register must be of age, and the legal age of majority in this country is 18 years. In addition, the Commission wishes to advise the public that persons whose national IDs are inscribed alien and they have long birth certificates that include the following. One, that they were born in or outside Zimbabwe, but either of their parents are a citizen of Zimbabwe, or they were born in Zimbabwe and one or both of their parents are citizens of a Southern African Development Community country, and that they were ordinarily resident in Zimbabwe on the day of the publication of the Constitution on 22 May 2013 can register during the MOP-UP BVR exercise. It should be noted that the extension of the BVR exercise is being done in the spirit of inclusivity, so that no eligible Zimbabwean is left out of the process. As I have already intimated, no one should feel marginalized or left out. The Commission will continue to maintain its open door policy for any contributions aimed at making the voter registration exercise a complete exercise. Our commitment to the Zimbabwean people is that we have got the capacity, the ability, and the will to deliver a free, transparent, fair, and verifiable election in 2018. This is our commitment also to the international community. I will depart slightly from my prepared speech and perhaps say one or two things which are very close to my heart. Firstly, perhaps I'm stealing the thunder from you journalists gathered here, that you probably want to ask about the 7 million people whom we had originally targeted. If I may second guess you that you were going to ask that question, my response would be as follows: that I think we were overly ambitious. We were extravagantly ambitious. Zimbabwe has a population of 15 million people, and out of those 15 million, between 50 and 55% are under 18. So they would be ineligible anyway to register. Over and above that, a significant number of our citizens are in the diaspora. And at any rate, by international standards, registering 70% of the targeted population is very good. So the question is, so far has the exercise been an unqualified success? I'll be modest about it and be gracious enough to concede that probably not. Then the next question would be, has it been reasonably successful? The answer is a resounding yes. Speaking for myself, If we were to register anything beyond 5 million people, I would be over the moon. I think this would be a satisfactory threshold. And we are on our way to meeting that target. Secondly, I would be remiss not to pay tribute to our hard-working employees led by Mrs. Gwamba, who are involved in this exercise, both our own ZEC in-house employees and public service employees who have been farmed out to us. Obviously, special mention should go to those employees operating in the rural areas. They've been operating in a brutal, inhospitable, and unamenable environment. During the day, they register people in a classroom, and at night, they use the same classroom to cook their meals and for sleeping. Indeed, they are our unsung heroes. Thank you very much. To be deployed in Bulawayo has been increased from 8 to 11. So that's breaking news for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting Chair. There may be one or two questions for clarification. Let me open the floor for the clarification. The statement by the Acting Chair will be given or handed out as you go out of the room. But feel free now to ask one or two questions in relation to the presentation.
But just as a caveat or a qualification to what, or maybe in addition to what she has said, I've got in our midst colleagues, both fellow commissioners and our secretariats, high-powered secretariat in that, and every one of us is at liberty to answer some of the questions. We are in it together, particularly our operations people, Mrs. Chigwamba, and our operations guru, Mr. Slaigwan. I would want to put you on notice to be ready to answer some of the questions. Thank you very much.
Am I too short? I'm just scanning the environment in case there are questions. Oh, there are two questions here, 1, 2 in that order. Just say which house or organization and then ask.
You mentioned about the number, the target, now that it was too ambitious. But, and also in the same line you mentioned the issue of the diaspora. There is that voice that is coming to say the diasporans, they want to vote, they want to exercise their right to vote. In the past, there's been an issue to say it's legislation that has to be changed. As ZEC, how are you pushing maybe the legislators to look at that gap so that the diaspora is taken care of?
Thank you for that question. The second one?
My name is Tony Otutu. I'm from Technomeg. I want to ask specifically on the behavior storage, as far as technology is concerned. Are we as the media houses now quick to know how we are going to be serving or securing the votes, the registration process and everything? Who is hosting these servers, and how can we actually verify the authenticity of when they are the actual storage and the technology that is being used to house the whole behavior system?
Thank you for that question. There's a third hand, your organization at least.
You have previously responded to the question of more kids in the rural areas than in urban areas by attributing that situation to larger distance, traveling distances in the rural areas as compared to urban areas. But when this list was being rolled out, what emerged as a very clear mass manifestation was that even in urban areas, the queues were much longer. And the statistics that you released actually showed that registration in urban areas, in terms of percentage, was less than 5%.
Question of the diaspora votes. Our position as ZEC is that we want every eligible Zimbabwean to vote, but everything has to be done in accordance with the law. As of now, people in the diaspora are ineligible to vote. So what must happen? It's incumbent, or it behoves upon the parliamentary parties, MDC, MDCT, and Zanu-PF to change the law. We've been on record as saying that we are in servitude of the law. We are servants of the law. We will follow the law dutifully and faithfully. That would be my answer.
Thank you. The next question is a question about the housing of the server. Mr. Mtemasango, you could hazard that one.
Well, rest assured.
And adding to that, they are housed here in ZEC, and we are already using them.
Do we have other independent players as well who can actually verify this information as it comes through, or as voters are coming in? Do we have any other players with only jurisdiction for ZEC? Any other independent players who are also going to be allowed to have access to this information during, after the whole process? Or is this just going to be closed to ZEC people and officials?
Well, ZEC is an independent commission mandated by the Constitution to carry out this voter registration and conducting elections without any interference from anyone. So, unfortunately, there are no independent, whatever you mean by that, who are supposed to have access to how we do our business.
Colleagues, you have noticed that when we did we carried out the blitz, I can say probably more than 50% of the period when we started and going to the middle, our centers were not busy at all. We had centers which were recording very, very few people, but at the end, I think the last 3 or 2 days of the blitz, that's when we really had long queues, particularly in urban areas. And having those long queues, I think it is, I don't know whether to say it's a culture or it's a trait of people. When you say this exercise is going on, they don't come, they come at the last minute. So that's why you saw those long queues at the last minute as we're about to close phase 4 of the voter registration. But still, what the commission did, knowing that that's human behavior, I think people behave like that, the commission made sure that where queues became long, the commission had to beef up those centers with more kits to make sure that everybody in the queue was served and registered. So the bottom line is that the distances in the rural areas, I think it is a fact to all of us that they are longer than the distances in the urban areas. People in the urban areas can easily reach the centers because they are close. Hence the differences in the numbers. But it does not translate to the fact that because we have got more kids in the rural areas, therefore more people in the rural areas will register. If you look at our statistics that the Commission has been giving out, you notice that I think Harare has got the highest people who registered. So that is testimony to the fact that no one was disenfranchised in terms of registering because of the number of kids allocated, urban versus rural.
During the period of the blitz, we had occasion to crisscross the country, both in urban and rural areas. And at times, we were frustrated to find our very hard-working, very eager registration officers twiddling their thumbs because there were no people to register. Unfortunately, the law does not compel people to register. We can only implore, encourage, and exhort people. But other than that, there's nothing we can do.
Thank you, Acting Chair. As we implore people to register, it is also important for us to say the mop-up does not signal the end of registration in preparation for 2018 elections. It only signals a cut-off point for us to be able to prepare a voters' roll, provisional voters' roll. Registration will still continue at our 63 static centers, which are the district offices, and it will only stop 12 days after the sitting of the nomination court. So we still continue to urge the electorate to say this does not mark the end. But at a point, we still have to go back to Zimbabwean electorate and say, now we have a provisional voters' roll which you can inspect, and we continue to add on to that roll. So this does not signal the end. It means we will continue registering in the build-up for the harmonized elections. Then there was a question about ex-officio commissioners of us. Again, it's an operations issue.
For myself, if we had, say, a voters' roll come nomination day consisting of plus or minus 5.5 million people, that would be a very respectable figure. That would be a decent figure. And we would all have cause to celebrate. And at 4.9, we are within shouting distance of 5.5. Thank you.
Take note of this figure in the context of the trends from previous years. From 2008 and 2013, our active voting population has not exceeded 3.4, 3.5. It was like 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. Even in the referendum, it was around those figures. So that's why he's saying we'll be very happy if we hit the 5.5, but we are almost shouting that we have exceeded what trends we have seen in the previous years. Thank you for that answer. Can I have the last round of issues for clarification questions? If they are...
You have to trust us. Do you know how we were elected into office or selected into office? It was through a very thorough and meticulous parliamentary process which included all the political parties represented in parliament. In fact, you might want to know that some amongst us as commissioners have stood as parliamentary candidates in previous elections on behalf of the so-called opposition parties, and that's a fact. So you would have to trust us. We are professionals. We are going to do a diligent job. You can trust us to be conscientious, to be impartial, and to be objective. Otherwise, we couldn't invite 15 million people to come and have access to the servers. If we invite somebody from ZBC, why shouldn't I invite my Ambuya from Gokwe to come and have access to the server as well? So it behoves on us as Zimbabweans really to trust the people who constitutionally are mandated to do certain things, and we will operate in terms and in accordance with the law. No more, no less. Of course, if there are any doubting Thomases amongst you, it's regrettable, but as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We are confident that come election 2018, we will have a product that is fit for purpose. Thank you very much. Yes, Commissioner Ndlovu would want to subtract from what I said, or augment what I said.
Okay, thank you very much. I would also want to add the point of accountability. If we are to open it to whoever, there is an issue of accountability. Could something go wrong tomorrow? Then there are so many hands into it.
And the buck stops with that.
Who will take the blame? Because ZEC will say, but we were not alone. So it is it is for the interest of everyone in the country to give the responsibility to those who are given that task constitutionally to be the people who have that access, so that even in their conscience they have accountability.
But we don't know what happened in Kenya.
Sorry.
Critical of our counterparts in Kenya, the debacle there was caused because they did not follow meticulously and religiously their laws. It's not going to happen here, rest assured.
There was a supplementary question.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.